Weird moments can happen everywhere, and that also includes sports activities as well.
Aga, Gerrard! Oh, this time it does go in!
Sometimes we can't help but laugh at the most unexpected and embarrassing moments that happen in a sports arena, because they're just hilarious. Although they may be weird and embarrassing to the people involved in those moments, they're extremely amusing.
Head-to-head between Shelley and Fraser-Price. Real shame just seeing pictures here, the Chinese.
Well, we've gathered 30 of these moments for you to see, so join us as we explore the 30 most embarrassing moments in sports caught on camera. Number 30. A post-competition handshake between two opposing teams is a must in keeping up with friendly competition and the spirit of sport, along with a better luck next time sort of thing between the winner and the loser. But that's not always the case after a tennis match. Two tennis players shake hands and one of them reaches over the net to slap the other player hard. Can you spot who the real loser is here? No one wants to be a loser, but you especially don't want to be a sore loser. My apologies to the winner, as that slap must have been felt all over the arena as the audience drew in a shocked gasp at the surprise drama. Number 29. When it comes to a relay race, you know it's about teamwork, no matter the time or the place. When a baton pass goes wrong, mid-race could end up costing the team the finish line. Then it doesn't matter if a race is going or not. You leave a teammate behind, especially one that's clearly untrained, and the worst baton pass in history between two Chinese runners during a relay race competition turns into a mid-race training.
Pictures here, the Chinese having all sorts of problems. Oh, they're just showing why their race unfolded.
All before the runner takes off once again, miles behind the other racers. It's only after looking back to make sure that her teammate now knows how to pass the baton correctly. When or not, they clearly know the spirit of teamwork. Number 28. LeBron James misses an open dunk shot, so what does he do to avoid embarrassment? He ducks and rolls to save himself from the open humiliation and jumps up running like a pro. If he ever decides to retire in the future, he definitely has two careers waiting for him with open arms, either in the circus as a tumbler or as a ninja stuntman on the big screen. Or perhaps he could be the ninja himself. We might as well hope for a basketball ninja on the Avengers team. Number 27. First-time skier Adrian Solano might not have won a medal for his first event competition as he waddles and falls throughout the snow-covered ski course at every turn, every hill, and every hurdle, a race he might not win. Still, he gets points for an entertaining ski competition. I mean, look at him go. He sure is amusing to watch. Anyways, penguins better watch out. There's a new waddler on the block, and he's not afraid to fall, slide, and waddle. Number 26. Nothing packs a powerful five-fingered smack against a ball like playing volleyball does, and those slaps can be heard resounding on the court, whether it's indoors or on a beach. Check out this beach volleyball match between two opposing female teams. It's clear the team on the right side brought their A-game into play, but before the opposing team could deliver a strike, the tallest opponent smacked the ball back powerfully midair. This led to them hitting a straight ace. Since it's not a serve, that is not possible, but it resulted in an immediate point for her team, and in celebration, her teammate handed her a two-handed low five to celebrate. There's no doubt who was the ace of the team, but I know for sure I wouldn't want to be on the other end of that powerful smack. In fact, I'm sure you must have wondered at some point how the ball survived the hit. Number 25. While trying to get in a bold last-second buzzer beater, Anthony lands on Kevin Hart, who catches him with startled laughter. On seeing his teammate get away with this antic, LeBron then decides to also fake a fall and land on Kevin Hart, who catches him with full-blown laughter. And not only did the two players have their hearts in the game, but Kevin also became the real MVP by catching two grown and tall basketball players effortlessly and with a flash of his Kevin Hart smile. Number 24. A strike at a cricket match has Mark Elaine running helplessly across the field to catch a ball that is always just out of reach the closer that he gets, almost tripping and falling over before eventually catching up to the runaway ball. Not only did it turn into one of the funniest Fields fails of all time, but looking at them also reminds one of a classic Tom chasing Jerry scenario as the cat jumps and trips while chasing the tiny mouse that is always just out of reach like the ball. Number 23. A football match between Syria and South Korea turns into an entanglement of laces, shoes, legs, and bodies when two players collide mid-match and their shoelaces decide to get to know each other better. It doesn't matter the outcome of the goal scored at the end of the game. We all know that this is a tied match. Number 22. During a basketball game, a trip and tumble gets Kyrie Irving an elbow to the balls when he lands on top of a fallen down Ben Simmons. There's only one word to describe what he goes through as he lies there and bangs the floor for a few seconds in pain, and it's a big ouch. And Ben, that's no way to get a ball or balls out of your face. Number 21. About to win the European Marathon, long-distance runner Jimmy Grisio decides to tackle the finish line in an iconic football player-like knee slide grand finish movement while waving two flags, only for him to land flat face first in the mud ungracefully. To the audience's disappointment, he not only won the competition, but he also earned himself a place on the meme's wall of fame forever thanks to his mud face plant next time stick to the usual hands in the air race across the finish line finishing movements instead. Number 20. While going for the goal, one of Gareth Bale's own teammates decides to use him, or at least his face, as an opening to score a goal. Unfortunately, it was not only a painful experience for Gareth, but it was also a funny home goal as they scored one against themselves, so sad. Now that was a face full of openings.
It was hooked off the line by Lennon.
The opponent should take notes on how it's done and watch out. Number 19. Direction is important in almost everything in sports, most especially while playing a high-stakes basketball game. Still, it seems like this person must have left his sense of direction at home as he ran in the opposite direction of the ball after missing, shocking both his teammates and the opponents as well as the audience, as they all stopped briefly to stare at him, wondering what went wrong as he runs back to the right direction, trying to get back into transition. One can only hope he gets his head back in the game and focus on the right direction. Number 18. On the basketball court, Steph Curry was wide open for a slam dunk during a game, and instead of making a dunk, he slid on the court and still managed to miss. Now we all know about slam dunks, dunk shots, and the likes. They either go in or it's a miss, but Steph does the invisible banana peel on the floor sideways slide, recovers his gait, and goes for the dunk. And well, we all know how that ends. But now we have a slam dunk and a slide dunk. I wonder how he will ever face his teammates after that amazing opportunity missed. Number 17. A tennis match is a game of wits and keeping your eyes on the ball at all times to hit the ball. But while two players are playing a match, one of them decides to give his distracted opponent a surprising twist by sending the tennis ball flying straight to his balls. The amount of pain and regret the other player must be feeling at the moment as he doubles over in agony, immediately as he for a brief moment took his eyes off the ball and got hit in the... Number 16. As a goalkeeper, you must never lose sight of the soccer ball at all times to ensure your post stays protected. This goalkeeper, however, forgot his training briefly as he kicked the air instead of the ball when the ball rolled out of reach while he prepared to make the kick, which of course gave the opposition a chance to score a goal, a chance they didn't know how to use. Obviously, that keeper needs to be retrained and penalized as he made a rookie mistake. Number 15. During a sports competition, the medical team is as important as the sports player. However, when the medical team is called to carry out an injured soccer player from the field, they turn out to be more dangerous than the sport played itself, as the stretcher used to transport the injured player and the two men carrying it decides to compete in a falling marathon on the field with the injured player. You can see the pain and frustration in the player's eyes as they keep adding injuries to his injury by falling over and over and over again. Number 14. A team mascot and security personnel on the field during a sports competition go head-to-head by having a mini dance competition of their own on the field to the joy of the audience who are cheering them on. The mascot had his own shot in the spotlight and twerked for all it was worth, and then it was time for the security guard to shine, and shine he did as he did several dance routines to put any boy band choreographer to shame and give Michael Jackson a heads up from his grave. Obviously, he should be a dancer and not a security security guard, but if he ever decides to change careers, he's got a bright future in the spotlight and the entertainment industry. Number 13. Ice hockey players, after winning a game, receive their cup trophy like any other team after a competition, and in the celebration excitement, one of them breaks the trophy in two as both players look up and stare into the camera like two kids who have just been caught after breaking the very expensive vase they were warned not to touch. One can only imagine the fans' reaction and that of their coach, and of course, like the expensive vase, several attempts at fixing it only made it worse, so they gave up and accepted defeat and a broken trophy. The players laugh in embarrassment amongst themselves, knowing they were carrying home a broken trophy. Number 12. Playing on the field during snowfall is never a good idea. The footballers, however, seem to have not gotten the memo as they play on a snow-covered field. When one of the players slips and falls while playing, another laughs at his predicament, and the fallen player, however, decides to get even by throwing a snowball at the laughing player. Be it snowball or football, you either win, lose, or of course, get even. Number 11. A long jump female athlete is at the start line looking focused and beautiful as she is about ready to break a record. And by the way, she is having a great hair day. She starts running and makes the jump, but her wig decides at the last minute to give her a much needed push to make the line as it falls off and lands a line behind her perfectly. Someone needs to give that wig a medal as it would have broken the record for a longest flying wig jump, and of course, we have the athlete cringing in embarrassment so much for the great hair day. Next time she might as well make the jump without the wig. Number 10. The gunshot echoes around the racetrack and off they go full speed ahead, streaking across the track with their feet barely touching the ground. Amazing, but wait, what's that in the distance far behind the other runners? This runner might not be going at the same speed as the other racers, but he is jiggling, running with everything he's got.
There he is. A little slower than the rest.
Even before the race has ended, we're already aware of exactly what position he's going to hold as he jiggles or runs with all of his might. Number 9. Referees in most sports competitions are there to not only make sure competition is fair, but they're also there to keep players safe from themselves. However, who keeps the referees safe from the players? Two judo players are head-to-head in their fierce competition, punching and kicking each other hard. As the referee steps in to mediate, one of them decides to go for a flying kick slap to the face. Still, instead of hitting the opponent, the referee gets kick slapped in the face. He holds a hand to his face and stumbles back shell-shocked, wondering what exactly went wrong with his method. The judo athlete, however, scrambles to apologize and ensure that no damage has been done to the referee. I am sure next time, the referee will think twice before stepping in between two judo athletes mid-competition, lest he gets kick-slapped in the face again. Number 8. Never celebrate an early victory, especially not before crossing the finish line and being declared a winner. One such moment was at the men's 2016 cycle race when one of the cyclers amusingly and foolishly declared himself the victor before crossing the finish line and started to celebrate by looking back at other racers mockingly and pumping his fists up in the air victoriously.
No.
He thinks he's won.
No.
No, it's one lap to go. It's one lap of racing to go.
I'm sure the audience and spectators must have been torn between celebrating with him or warning him to focus on the race, especially as he still had one more lap to go before actually crossing the line. It's safe to say he did not end up coming first in the cycle race, but at least he celebrated like a winner. I doubt he'd do the same thing in the next race or any other race for that matter. Number 7. Tennis players now have to be careful of getting stuck in the net, especially while in the middle of a game, as seen when tennis player Marty Fizz gets stuck in the net while attempting to save a tennis ball from falling to the ground in a first-round clash tennis match. One would say he was dedicated to the game at hand and would have done anything to save the ball, including going head over heels over the net and getting stuck in the process.
I think he's stuck.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
His opponent, Ryan Harrison, ran to help him get unstuck and back to his feet. If anything, both would have a fun and fond memory of the match for years to come, and if anything, would remember not to get stuck while trying to save the ball. Number 6. When the former coach of the Manchester United football team, Jose Mourinho, attends a Russian Ice Hockey League match, he slips on the red carpet laid out on the ice while attempting to shake hands with one of the players. On the ice after dropping the puck to be used to play the game in between the two hockey athletes. He is about to leave when the hockey player holds his hand out for a handshake, but unfortunately, Jose slips spectacularly before he is even able to grab hold of the hand held out to him. Embarrassing much? Well, at least one thing is clear. If he is no longer a football coach, he shouldn't venture into being an ice hockey coach, as the ice is clearly not made for his red carpet or not. Number 5. What is the first rule of professional American football? Never get in between a player and the football, or else you might just find yourself being tackled by a bunch of heavily equipped pounds-heavy players whose target is the ball and the ball alone, as seen during a game between the Vikings and the Cardinals. The unsuspecting sound guy who was in the wrong place at the wrong time was the first casualty in the game before it even began.
Timing is everything. Linval Joseph.
In contrast, the players do look as sorry and confused as the sound guy at what had just happened. The poor man was just trying to do his job, and the same can be said for the players. The sound equipment will never be the same, or the sound guy for that matter. Number 4. The penalty is common during a football game. Each team looks for any opportunity that comes with an extra shot at a goal. And of course, the red flag and penalty are not exempted from this list of those opportunities. Some even go the extra mile to milk the penalty for all that it's worth. However, one of the players goes too far when he thinks it is his turn to deliver an award-winning penalty performance after being given a simple pat on the back by screaming in pain and falling to the floor groaning. Sadly, the player gravely miscalculated, as instead of the opponent, the pat on the back was given by the referee himself. So sorry. The referee can only give out penalty point, does not receive one himself. Next time, make sure your target is correct when about to give a fake injury acting performance. And the opponents should watch out, as the performance was extremely believable. You can hear someone screaming for a medic in the background. Number 3. As a baseball player, sometimes you've got to do it all to reach the base, even if it means butting heads or bottoms in this case, as after hitting the pitch and racing around half the bases, baseball player Jonathan was determined to make it safely to second base, even if it meant sliding headfirst into another player bottom. All he had to do was get there.
Who had his 9-game hitting streak ended last night, gets the hit, he's going to try to go for a 2, and he is...
Well, even after the face full of butt, he still didn't make it in time to second base. Let's be mindful of where we put our heads when sliding to base next time. Number 2. To enter the Olympics as an athlete, one has to train and train and train for years to even qualify, and then on to the big games with the best from all around the world. Sadly, for some, even after training their whole lives, they still don't have what it takes to compete in the Olympic leagues. For Jeffrey Jolmes, even after training for most of his adult life, it still wasn't enough to get him through his first top Olympics hurdle competition.
Sam.
He fell on the first one. Better luck next time or never, as the Olympics doesn't come around every year and the top level hurdles are just too high. Number 1. There's no doubt that in every sports game there is always a level of tension amongst team members and their opponents, and the higher the stakes, the higher the levels of frustration. The saying holds true when Josh Hart blocks a buzzer beater from James Harden. The frustrated baller decides to punish himself by using the ball. He slams it hard to the ground and into his face it goes when it bounces back up. However, James takes his punishment like a man.
Man, Josh Hart has to worry about the contact. Hart just lost the bat. Oh, and then put it into his own chin.
And walks it off the cause of the frustration. However, Josh Hart is left looking at James in shocked confusion at what just happened. I don't think Josh Hart is ever going to be able to figure out the physics of the whole scenario.